Hey, good morning, my people. What's up? Today is the first day of May, 2026, and the time right now is 6 minutes before the 3 a.m. hour. Yeah, 6 minutes before 3. And I would have just tidied up my notes that I was taking from the election coverage. I followed it through the nation station, ABS. Was taking the stats and them kind of stuff. Wasn't feeling too sleepy. At 3 o'clock I had some sleep earlier, so I just decided that I'd do this video while it's fresh in my mind. Well, I took the decision weeks ago that I was done talking about the elections until the elections would have been completed. And as I said, as we all know now, it is completed. That is now a matter of history, and the results are 15 to 1, and I'm speaking about Antigua. The BPM would have retained this seat in Barbuda and Antigua. The leader of the opposition, Jamal Pringle, is the only member of parliament from the UPP side who remains in parliament. Um, as I think it was Fire who coined the phrase or the wording some time ago in his song, Single Pringle. So that's what it is. Let me just say congratulations to the ALP on their victory. Also, let me say congratulations to UPP members who played a part in the ALP attaining such a uh, big victory. Yes, and also let me say congratulations to the radio hosts who played a critical part in assisting the ALP in attaining its massive victory. Yes, the radio host. There was a radio host who played a critical part in it. And I've been saying that and I will continue to say that. Anyway, it's now on to the next stage, sorry. And in my view, I don't see a problem, as you can see there from my backdrop. I see an opportunity. And as I would have said in the past, Mr. Pringle now has a good chance, in my view, to get it right with his party. And I'm hoping that Mr. Pringle would have learned a lesson from Donald Trump, or would have learned a lesson that Donald Trump learned from his first term in office. That's Donald Trump's first term in office. That is, I hope that Pringle, that is, would take pattern of Trump's new approach, having attained a second term, and that is keep only those who are loyal to you around you. Simple as that. Those who are loyal to you, keep them around you. Trump learned that lesson. You see it being executed now, and I think it's a very good strategy. And why I say that? That doesn't mean that you're not gonna want people around you who would give you an honest opinion one way or the next. I don't have a problem with that. But as I would have said before, for those persons who do not want to abide by democratic principles, there should not be no place for them in the party. It's as simple as that. And the Labour Party, sorry, the UPP would have learned that lesson in a resounding way, in my opinion. And I'll come down to that later, why I will again show it, what I've been saying before. You see, Pringle, if you fail with persons, when the persons around you are loyal to you, right? If you fail in that setup, infighting will not prevent you, or inviting will not again in the future cause you to suffer the defeat that you would have suffered tonight or into this morning, in my opinion. If you fail with people around you, loyal people around you might fail because of, your strategy might be wrong or for some other reason. But infighting will not be the reason why you fail. And backstabbing, certainly, will not be the reason for your demise again. I mean, that is just the truth of the situation. And as I'm saying that, let me just point out again, for the record, because it is the truth. I hold no brief against nobody. I have no problem with nobody personally. I see things how I see things, and I say it how I see things. And who want to vex, that's a matter for them. And I will repeat again, as my father would have said to me many times, when you commit a treasonous act, you must die. And I'm not talking about physically dying in this case, I'm talking about politically dying. If an act was carried out that could be looked upon as being political treason. And what the UPP have not been able to do for itself, for whatever the reason, the electorate have done it. So that's a good thing. I heard somebody say that. I think it's the man Robinson said that, the electorate have solved the leadership problem for the UPP. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I listened well leading up to the elections. After I said I wasn't going to say anything, I had my say, and that was that. I listened to the discussions, and I had to smile to myself because one radio host who I would have heard trumpeting for years, that Jamal Pringle, Giselle Isaac team will be the death of the UPP. That particular radio host was reduced to begging the electors to vote for the very same party led by the very same Jamal Pringle and Giselle Isaac as chairman. I think that's her position. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's chairman. Very same host. After 2 years of driving into the listeners or that host the ears of that host listeners. This and that and the UPP that and no the UPP the goal block. In 21 days, I smiled when I saw that same, or when I heard that same host then telling people, vote for the very same party and the very same team. Another host commented, today's what? Today's now Friday, so it might have been Wednesday. I was listening to a program, and another host commented, and I got the readout what the host said. The host said, "No, Dave, I have this to say. I have to commend the United Progressive Party for moving the goalposts or to have the people motivated in such a short space of time. Is it enough? I hope it is. But it's incredible to watch, and I can only sit and say, imagine. Just imagine if the last 2 years was like that. However, it is what it is at this point in time." And when I heard that statement, I smiled to myself and I said, what would normally follow? What question would normally follow, at least in my mind? That is, just imagine if for the last 2 years it was like that. Why wasn't it like that for the last 2 years? That's what President supposed to answer. Why wasn't it like that for the last 2 years? Why it only came when Gaston Brown called the election? We have to be honest with ourselves. And he said last 2 years. Why 2 years? Yeah, because it was 2 years ago, the convention, in a democratic way, elected Jamal Pringle as leader. And persons decided that, hey, the majority at the convention is not going to guide us. 15-1. 15-1 is a result of that. Right? I heard, what's his name? Mr. Bertram Joseph. I heard he made a statement, and I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to go and get it. He spoke about the problem for the party, in his view, and it was persons who came into the party. Everybody's saying the same thing. Well, I guess 100 million Frenchmen can be wrong. Well, to me, Pringle, as I said, in my opinion, you have been given the best opportunity by the Almighty God to take back your party and fashion your party. As I said, and if you go back, if persons go back and listen to my video, you would have heard I say that Pringle is going to have the opportunity to paint his picture on a blank canvas, in my opinion. Um, you're a young man, age-wise, and as you would have said, I listened to your words. I listened to, I believe it might have been the final rally that the UPP had. Where was it? It was at All Saints, Macpan, is it? And you would have said, brothers and sisters, I was forged by the fire of public criticism, the fire of the leadership contest. The fire, brothers and sisters, I was forged by the fire of defections, by people whom you and I once called brother and sister. And most importantly, brothers and sisters, brotherhood within the party that is called to serve, not ourselves, but called to serve the people of this great nation. Pringle, some candidates, some of your candidates, some who went into the elections and former who came from 2023, in my opinion, some of your candidates forgot that they were elected to serve the people of this great nation. And like the ALP, in my opinion, they went about serving themselves. Well, now they're not there, or now they have been booted out by the electorate. I hope that what they would have gotten will last them forever. Yeah, I hope it would have lasted them forever. But, the Almighty work in mysterious ways, His wonders to perform. I would have said, well, as a matter of fact, when I said it, I said I would not have run with Shugi on my ticket. A candidate called me, one who went in the election and lost. Obviously, he's not. Pringle didn't call me. A candidate called me and asked why I would be saying that, and I said it to the person. I said it to the person. Democracy demands if you believe that you're not going to go with the majority, which is your right, go away. Left the people in something. Now mash them up. I said that to the person. Well, the electorate in St. Mary's South did what the UPP ought to have done. And I'm now thinking of what some advice that Justin Simon had given the UPP. I think they was having something down at Workers' Union. Of course, well, at least from what we know from the outside, um, the advice wasn't taken. Well, the electorate have taken matters into their own hands and have done what they do, what they decided to do. And I agree with them. I agree with them. I agree with them. I don't think that well, I know it wouldn't have happened in my ticket. So that is that. Um I when person would have asked me my opinion on what was gonna happen, I had four UPP retaining four seats. That is Pringle, Shugi, because of the constituency, not because of Shugi. Um what's his name there? Jonathan and Boyne. Those are the four that I had. Um the young lady, Miss Johnson, put on a fight and she did what she did. Jonathan lost to Jonathan lost to what's his name? To Benjamin. Well, see you later, Jonathan. Okay, no, you can't. Not even try to push up your head again. See you later. And who's the third one that I said that was Boyne, Jonathan, and Shugi. Right, those are the three. I had those as winning, but they're gone. And Yeah, the Lord knows best. The Lord knows best. Um, Again, as I would have said, I don't see a problem personally. I see an opportunity. I see an opportunity for the UPP to get back on track because there's no doubt in my mind that they would have run out the track by far. And I want to go back to I'm gonna get the recording from Bertram. I think he put it in a way that I liked. I think he put it in a way that I liked. Um, yeah, them that just come, they know everything, you know. And then they just come, they know everything. And I'm particularly incensed. I'm particularly incensed that some persons believe that they can upstage the will of the majority. I just don't that just doesn't make no sense to me. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that. The majority say, look, we're going this way. No problem if you don't want to go this way. Just come out and go that way, you know? What is so hard in that to understand? Or what was so hard in that to understand? What? You had to come to this. You had to come to this. Yeah, listen to the radio personalities. And of course, we will hear the normal excuses. But Pringle, my friend, I say the Almighty have given you an opportunity to get it right, to get young professionals around you. And again, I say it without any shame. Get people around you who are loyal to you. Because if you make up your mind that, hey, I'm going to do this, and you run into problem, then at least your mind make up that I'm going to do this. So you decided it. You know, if it's a wrong strategy, as I said again, and you lose, okay, fine. But this infighting and this backstabbing, the deal with that again, my friend. If you deal with that again, as I said before, you and your party will be in opposition for a long, long, long time. I don't think you have to be like that. Again, as I said, get some professionals around you. Um, Allow for free and fair discussions. You know, people ought not to be hindered from saying what they think. But people must understand that no one is bigger than the party, the movement, whatever you want to call it. No one is bigger than that. And once you reach the stage that you believe you're bigger than that, it's time for you to go. Because it is the unity that you had pre-2023 that is going to bring you back on track. Anyway, let me go and get something to drink because I'm really too sleepy and I'm not going to force myself. Take care, everybody, and congratulations again to the Labour Party on their victory. And congratulations to those UPP members who ably assisted the Labour Party. And let us not forget the radio hosts who played maybe the most critical part in guaranteeing the Labour Party the resounding victory that it had last night into this morning. Bless up, people. Enjoy the holiday weekend and please be safe outside.